What do you want to be when you grow up? If you ask that question to 100 different children, you'll probably get 100 different answers. A teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, a ball player, policeman, scientist, maybe a priest. That variety is good. The world would be pretty dull if we all grew up to do the same thing. But there's one thing we are all called to grow up to become, and that's to be holy. In other words, to be saints. Now, we might think that sounds strange. Saints are those who have churches named after them, who have visions and perform miracles. And then there's all the rest of us regular folk. But the saints are really just all those who are in heaven. Not just the official ones whose names we know, but all the countless unknown who have gone before us, who have fought the good fight, who have finished the race, and kept the faith. That's our goal, too. That's the whole point of life. Every life is a success or failure based on whether or not we end up in heaven. It's why God made us. And it's why we should be familiar with the saints, read the lives of the saints. We might think, that could discourage us. These men and women were so holy and virtuous, and then look at me, sinful with warts and all. But really, reading the lives of the saints, getting to know these men and women, it really should have just the opposite effect. They're the role models that we aspire to. A child looks to the very best that he wants to grow up and emulate. It's like the kid who wants to be a ball player. Does he put up posters in his room of other Little League players? No, he puts up the Major League All-Stars. That's what he aspires to become. Now, will he ever make it to the major leagues and achieve that level of fame and excellence? Probably not. But the point is, that's still going to bring out the best that he has. He's going to strive to play his best, to raise his game because of those role models that he looks to. That's what the saints do for us. They're our role models in the faith. They're the all-stars of holiness, the Hall of Famers who encourage us and inspire us. And we can relate to them. They weren't born with a halo. They had the same struggles and flaws and temptations that all the rest of us do. But they said yes to the grace of God to help them through all of that to get to heaven. And the saints show us that no matter what our state in life is, holiness is possible for you and me as well. Look through the lives of the saints. You see a microcosm of the whole human race. Sure, there are priests and popes, but also parents and children, teenagers and young adults, teachers, lawyers, doctors, tax collectors and prostitutes, kings and queens, and the poorest of the poor, men and women from every land and race and walk of life. Whoever and wherever we are, we look to the saints and we say to ourselves, if they could do it, I can too. God is glorified in his saints. They're like the prism that refracts his light and shows it in all its splendor, all the many forms that holiness takes, because God created each and every one of us to be with him and add to his honor and glory. The saints are creation at its best, and they're the happiest people in the world. One Catholic writer said that the only sadness in life is not to be a saint. Find some of those special role models. Maybe a saint who is really just like you, or maybe a saint who's very different from you. Make them your friends. Ask for their prayers, ask for their help, that we too can cross that finish line where God is waiting for us. Because in God's eyes, we're all his little children. And he asks each and every one of us, what do you want to grow up to be? And on this Feast of All Saints, we're reminded of the answer. I want to be a saint.